So today we're looking at Harry Kane, 91 rated with a lovely pace increase. He is most definitely due an upgrade. Now, we have seen them lost their second game against Villa, so it will be interesting to see how they go, but Bayern Munich will naturally be okay. They may lose a couple of matches, but Harry Kane will bound to get the upgrade. He has had a 15 upgrade on his pace already, 1 shooting, 1 on everything else, and 2 on the dribbling. So already we're looking at a very, very nice card here. Obviously the striker, it's got his finesse shot plus as normal. He has the ability for 2 upgrades if they win 3 matches, and then also score 1 goal in 4 different matches. It doesn't matter if they lose or win in them. I know with Villa it was 1-0, so technically he's got to go it again basically, but he can go up to a 93. Now, if they were to finish top 2 in the league, then obviously he gets a play stop plus added on. Don't know if I could see that one happening. Currently, he's coming in at 1 million coins. We have whacked the Hunter on him. With the shooting he's got, he doesn't need it, but the pace increase on top would be absolutely fantastic. Would take him to 88 pace, 97 shooting. So he's going to be an absolute baller. I can imagine a lot of people are going to go with the engine just to get a bit more pace and then get a bit more on the agility balance. But keeping him controlled lengthy with a Hunter, for me, would be the better option. So let's just jump into him, see what he's all about, and see if he's worth maybe a cheeky little investment. One thing is he's going to be more of the hold-up striker, if anything, but we've already now got a lovely little taste. Oh, that'd have been lovely as well if I got him on side. We got a taste of kind of like that extra bit of pace, which is exactly what we need from Kane. Him, Lewandowski are all the same when it comes to the build of them. Their shooting ability is absolutely second to none, but the pace is the little bit of a downfall for him. So hopefully using him as this kind of false 9 role potentially could work quite well. He does have the advanced forward plus, so we will have to give that a go as well. At the minute, normally I'm playing the kind of combination of a false 9 and then also a poacher in obviously Erling Haaland, who's going to be great getting in behind everybody. Kane over the top. Can we get the touch? It's a good block from Romero. I think the false 9 ability is brilliant at getting him on the ball, because with Kane it was all about trying to physically get him on the ball, even if he can't necessarily do crazy amounts with it. This is the kind of positions you want him in, being able to break the space and kind of push him up. You can then play off him more so than anything. It's kind of what he does in real life, really. That's kind of it. And obviously with the finesse shot plus, you can try and break it as much as possible. It is not necessarily the most broken it's ever been in the game. Can we ping that into him? Looking for a little bit of space in and around the box. Beautiful. The finishing on him is always going to be spectacular. We knew that from the get-go. 94 on the finishing on such a good card. The 15 pace increase is just a nice little extra, to be honest. I've knew that he would get a bit of an upgrade, but compared to what we've seen in previous years, like I didn't think anything more than 10 already. And I know these cards are not necessarily going up to like next weekend or not, but to have a 15 upgrade and then potential another double upgrade on top, potentially taking him to what, 82 to maybe 84 pace if they're feeling really really optimistic with it. It's such a nice card to get. I think 1 million coins really flatters him nicely. Take the touch, get the finesse. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful from him. I think as well, when it comes to a player of this sort, oh, good tackle, this sort of caliber is what team you build around him. Now, obviously, Kane to begin with, in a gold form, is not necessarily as appealing compared to what we've got here. So naturally, you're not necessarily going to build a full team around him, nearly getting in. Whereas now I could definitely see it, and the kind of the unique spot that he's in, being English in the Bundesliga, meaning he can get them Prem links. And if you think of the most meta players you've seen, Foden, Bellingham, Walker, somebody else, name names. Obviously, then you've got icons as well. That's always going to be a cracking shout if you want. Foden over the top. Can we get the header? No. Can we win the header back though? Not quite either, but he's going to put it in my path anyway. So already then you've got the links just from the English nation, and they're kind of like the most meta as well. So there is so many options. Even then you throw in like a Mead, a Lauren James, a Hemp. There's so much that you can do with the card in itself. And then you go into the Bundesliga. You look at Wirtz, you look at Musiala, who maybe don't have all of the cards right now, but are destined to get a card at some point. So already you're looking at a very nice setup that you can go with him. So it is going to be an interesting card to see where he ends up. Good feet, finesse. It's not as broken as before. It's a shame, but not a shame, because I'm kind of glad that they've kind of figured that out from the very start. But then also shooting is a little bit more difficult this year. Most definitely there's not necessarily a fully broken method other than potentially a Travella. That most definitely is the kind of one at the moment that I'm finding dips up and down, which is always interesting. I think as well with a card like this, the big advantage you've got is that controlled length. Like genuinely being able to outrun some people, go for the shot. Good. Was that I suppose he hit the bar, didn't he? Really, more so than anything. But it's having that controlled lengthy already on a card that's got a bit more pace. 88, like 88 pace on any striker, to be honest, at this point of the game is still very good, let alone having absolutely every stat that he's got in terms of shooting. He most definitely will be putting numbers up for people. So if you've not necessarily got a full striker list yet, maybe like a Haaland would be kind of over him. Mbappe is obviously the number one shout. You'd be looking at an Alvarez as such, kind of not taking into consideration icons and heroes too much yet until we see a big price kind of downgrade after maybe the first champs results are fully in, because naturally with them new results of icons and heroes being in the rewards for champs, I'm very interested to see what the first week truly does to their price ranges, and we'll be keeping an eye on them, because naturally if they really go down, then we can start to increase them in there. Lovely little finesse. Beautiful. Great hat-trick from him. First half hat-trick. One of the easier strikers that we've got along with, and to be honest, I expected it for a million coin striker. Ow. Good interception. Didn't even know he intercepted it. Get the little spin on. Ooh, this guy's just throwing in wobbly tackles. Little finesse fake. Goes for the finesse over the keeper and a touch on the bar. He's going to turn that way. Nice. Get it back to Kane. Get the little turn on him if we can. Little bit of left stick dribbling. Little fake. Turn back. Little pace and left foot. Phenomenal. This, to be fair, this guy's defending is not necessarily the greatest. I didn't even know Barcola got an upgrade as well. That's going to be an interesting one. Barcola and Garnacho, Doku last week. There is some real contenders with wingers. This guy's got Haaland as well, but he's not using him the most efficiently. Definitely, Kane has kind of impressed me a little bit more than Haaland has. Can we go an all-out pace? It's the one thing that you can't do in this game is just run in a straight line. I think some games you can kind of get away with it, where maybe not necessarily that quite as the example is just run straight, but you could definitely get further in some aspects. This year, the tackling is just so much more on it, and even the pace catch-up, like defenders really catching up with people so quickly. The through balls are more perfect, but there is a lot more animations to actually block it out, to be honest. There he is, through the middle, every single time. The good thing here is little finesse. Oh, he's gone for the left foot. I was hoping he might have done that kind of FIFA thing where he kind of tilts his body 90 degrees and just gets the right foot finesse off. Could have probably got the goal. Maybe should have just tried to step on it, to be honest. Good block. Haaland taking it, and we're going to try and take it off him. He's going to try and turn on the inside. It's a good challenge from Virgil, but doesn't get him, and it's lucky that he did red time that as well. He's got some decent dribbling on him. Like, just if you're not a person that necessarily runs in straight away to him, like if you're just going to constantly lunge at him, he's not necessarily going to be incredible to get away from every challenge, but he's going to be able to kind of deal with half of them here. This left stick just being able to kind of feint and weave a little bit. If you're really going to try and tackle him, like constantly pressing B like that and not getting the man in, he's going to make you look like light work. Good assist. Is the keeper coming out? Doesn't matter. We're going to go for the finesse anyway. It's a great save. And Haaland tries to get the come up there. And I think we do get the corner. See if we can whip this in with Foden. Haaland on the header. Nice. Great footwork across. Little around the keeper as well and wins the penalty. But I think he might be gone before this. Can we get it off before he's gone? 99 on the penalties. We're going to go for the Panenka. Just because why not? Gone for the Panenka. Beautiful Kane. Or maybe not. Fair enough. He's back in. Has he made a sub? Or is he gone? I don't know. He's still going. There it is again. Can we go for a chip this time? Oh, it's got to be hit. It's got to be hit somewhere. Oof. Gets the finesse on the cut-in. I do think this year it's not necessarily what it used to be. Like the finesse normally, you'd get it from kind of around here and you'd just absolutely ping it. Not necessarily go in absolutely every time, but you'd almost guarantee yourself a goal half the time. I think the Travellas are definitely on that sort of wavelength if you can get it right, but it's nowhere near the broken mechanics that we saw from last year. I think they've whether I'd say they've done a good job or the meta's changed it maybe, or kind of like the new animations might have changed it. Can we get Haaland in? I've kind of waited too long, and that's a great challenge. So going into the overall for Kane then, I didn't realise truly how many decent players we've got this week. Obviously the kind of meta we're looking at, Virgil van Dijk, Arejo, Barcola and Garnacho coming in there. Even Gusto, lovely upgrade for the Chelsea boy. Dybala's there. Brandt is the lower end. You've obviously got Havertz coming in quite well as well. You've obviously got quite a few of the kind of lower tier. Loftus-Cheek, always got to do it. 290, never going to grumble. But I do think when it comes to Kane, they've done really well. This is a card that you truly want to have. The pace is just absolutely massive on a card like this. We see with a lot of the strikers in general that you get decent strikers and you can tell straight away who the top end is. You've got your icons, your R9s, your Eusebios, your Hullets, your Cruyffs, your Hams, Ginolas. Then you've got your kind of gold cards. Your specials, your gold cards are where it's truly at. You look at your Mbappes. He's just magnificent across the board. You then look at someone like a Vinny, who's the kind of wing side of stuff. But then Sophia Smith, 93. Son, 87. You got your Haaland. Now, you've kind of got the group of Haaland, Lewandowski, you've got Kane, and then it used to be like kind of like a Giroud-esque type and a Soloff who get upgraded later. They are kind of the tall builds, get him into feet, get it off them. They've got the controlled lengthy, so potentially they could run at somebody with that new meta in there. But when you start the game, there's no ability of it because 65 pace with controlled lengthy is still not going to blister past people. Now 80 pace, it's a big upgrade. It's definitely a bigger upgrade than I assumed it would be. Shooting is fantastic. Across the board, we've got great stats. Physical boost is decent. Now, I can imagine a lot of people will go with that engine, but I think Hunter, to keep him controlled lengthy, is personally where it's at. You've obviously got controlled with the engine, which is nice for the agility balance, but Hunter is just going to give him absolutely top-end shooting, as much pace as humanly possible, and everything else will just suit in its own right. I think this card is truly going to be worth it. Whether I would say he's worth the million will depend on how well they do, because you've got to take it that he is a live card, so he's still got the possibility of a double play star plus, still got the ability of 2 extra roll pluses, and then 2 upgrades as a potential. So until one of them is completely gone, maybe they can't finish top 2, meaning he'll be stuck with just one playstyle plus, then obviously it's down to the upgrades, and then it'll put a price on there. And if they don't manage to do that, which I find crazy if they don't, then that would just diminish the card even more. So you are taking the risk, but I think for Bayern Munich, you're doing a pretty solid, to be fair. Now, the cards that you've obviously got to link with him, Wirtz has obviously had an inform, you've got a few heroes, Frimpong's already had a Champions League, Brandt's obviously got one now as well. Then you've got Sesko, who could be a great partner with him. Again, another very tall striker to link with him. 6'5" with the 4-4 is absolutely incredible. And having the likes of Alex Garcia as the cheap SBC for the World Tour, again, never a bad option. You throw in some of the England partnerships, you've got all the icons obviously, but Bellingham is his Champions League or the normal golds. You've got Carragher coming in, you've got Williams, Joe Cole, McManaman, then you've got special cards that will come eventually. Rice will get a card, Trent will, Hemp will, Kelly will. Palmer looks like he's absolutely on fire, so he is due a banger of an upgrade at some point. And then the likes of Loftus-Cheek as well. So he's got everything you need. I think he's a wonderful, wonderful striker. Whether I'd say he's the absolute pinnacle of meta, I think he does require a certain playstyle type. He's not necessarily somebody who is as agile as an Mbappe or a Vinny, which I think is self-explanatory, but if used right, he truly is a card that will score a lot of goals.